Thank you so much for watching our ABC6 News special coverage of tonight's election. I'm John DeLuca.
And I'm Tiffany Murphy. A good showing as expected for Democrats in the Ocean State so far this evening. ABC6 News anchor Alyssa Azara joins us live from the Democratic Watch Party. Alyssa.
Well, Tiffany, John, there is still a long night of ballot counting ahead of us, but so far Democrats here at the Graduate Hotel are excited, especially with Kamala Harris already winning Rhode Island. They are hopeful that Harris will take home the victory for the next president of the United States. And with 95% of polling places reporting in Rhode Island, the AP projects Sheldon Whitehouse wins the Rhode Island Senator race. Also with 95% counted, Gabe Amo and Seth Magaziner have significant leads in the race for Congress. So still a long night ahead of us, but things are looking good for the Democrats here tonight. We'll continue to touch base with you in a little bit. Back to you guys.
Alyssa, thank you. We're joined now by ABC6 News political analyst, Providence College political science professor, Dr. Adam Myers. Dr. Myers, you just heard Alyssa there talking about the victory lap for Democrats tonight in the state of Rhode Island. No shock there, not breaking news by any stretch. But as you look at the numbers, other than Gabe Amo and probably Sheldon Whitehouse, as he won by 14-15%, depending on what you look at in terms of the early and mail-in vote, any of the race totals kind of surprise you a little bit in terms of how close they are?
Well, the presidential race in Rhode Island is a bit surprising in the sense that right now Harris is leading Trump by about 9 percentage points in the state. It is important to bear in mind that no mail-in ballots have been counted in Rhode Island yet, and those are expected to lean heavily Democratic. So I expect that Harris's margins will widen, but they won't be huge. Trump will perhaps have matched his performance in 2016, which was the best performance for a Republican presidential candidate in the state since the 1980s.
That was President Reagan.
That's right.
Did really well in Rhode Island. But as you look at Gabe Amo's numbers, I mean, he's flexing tonight, 28 points over Alan Waters. Seth Magaziner over Mr. Corvey. That's a 12-point race at this point. Again, the mail-in ballots haven't been counted yet, which you say will skew Democrat by a large margin.
They will, but having said that, you bring up a good point. This is not as democratic of a state as many people think. We have some deep red areas in this state. Trump got over 40% of the two-party vote here in 2016. And so this is surprising, but not that surprising.
Okay.
You know, we talk so often about getting out the vote and how important your vote is, and people say, well, is it really, right? But as we look at the cities and towns around Rhode Island that are voting for mayor, for instance, those numbers, some of them are coming down to 500 votes right now without the mail ballots counted yet.
That's exactly right. And so the races in Cranston and Woonsocket are very important to keep an eye out on, especially for obviously the folks who live in those cities.
Also, too, as you make a good point about Gabe Amo and Seth Magaziner in those two congressional districts, about one being blue-blue, and that's District 1, and 2, I'm not going to say it's blue with a capital B, but it's kind of a purple. It's you Coventry, Western Cranston, places like that, West Greenwich, Exeter, West Greenwich. I mean, those are places that probably lean Republican, and that has changed over the last 15, 20 years.
That's exactly right. And so RI2, it wasn't competitive this election cycle. Republicans decided not to put a lot of resources into it, but in the future it could be.
I was thinking back, Alan Fung, I want to say was within 6 points.
Right.
5-6
right.
points that he
well, and a lot of us thought he was going to win.
At one point he was on top, and I think over time the Democratic machine kicked in and got the job done. But he's done the best job I think local Republican has done in that in a long time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. This state could be competitive in the future. That congressional district could be competitive in the future. And if Republicans play their cards right, they could be competitive in the governor's race 2 years from now.
We're going to leave it there for now. To see local election results, we have all of that for you on our website, including Massachusetts as well, abc6.com.